Yo, what is up everybody, it's Jack here. I'm a Shopify developer here at Section Store, and in this video I'm going to be discussing Shopify headers. So headers are something I get asked about all the time as a Shopify developer. The ones that come with the theme are often sort of very clunky, they don't go transparent, or they're really not what you're looking for your brand, but Shopify doesn't have a lot of options to customize them, and in general the header and the footer are one of the hardest components to customize on the page. So on this video I'm going to be going over how you can add a header of almost any style, like this one that I've got set up here, in a mobile-friendly format, options for transparency, and other things like that to any Shopify theme. As you can see here, for my header example that I've just created, we're viewing this on an iPhone 14 Pro Max right now. Very mobile-friendly, your cart, your logo, and it collapses into this burger menu on the left-hand side, which is sort of the agreed or the best format for doing anything on mobile. So here's how you can add a header section like this one and a bunch of other styles to your theme in only a couple of minutes. To do this, we're going to be using the Shopify app Section Store, of course. Section Store is a component library of over 600 different theme sections that plug into any Shopify theme. I've searched for header, and as you can see, there's a ton of different headers, so there's a lot of different options. For this video, I'm going to be using header 1. If we click into it, you can see it is $9, but this is a one-time charge. So once you purchase this, there's no recurring fees. You own the header forever, and you can use it as many themes as you want for as long as you want. You own it for life. Once I purchase the section, it's going to show up here under My Sections, and to install it, all we do is find header 1 and just select the theme that we're looking to work with. Now it's installed in the theme, we can switch over to the theme editor. What's really important when installing these headers is we install them in the header of the theme. So this section here is the header. If anything that's added here is going to apply to any page on the website, which is what we want the header to do. And then anything down here in the body is only going to apply to the specific page, like this home page, for example. So to add the header, all we do is hit Add Sections, search for the header, and then just add it here like a regular Shopify section. You'll also want to hide the existing header as well. Here's an example that I set up earlier for the demonstration, so you can see we've got the header section added like we did previously, and to customize these we do it just like a regular Shopify section on the right hand side of the page with the settings in the theme editor. So first and foremost at the top we have some header settings. First is reveal menu. So right now I have it on scroll up, so if I scroll down the page the header disappears, but if I scroll up a little bit the header will reappear. We also have always or sticky, so the header's always going to show up no matter where the customer is on the page. And then finally we have only top. So this is if you want the customer to scroll all the way up before they see the header, it's not going to appear like this. Next, we have transparent background, which is something a lot of people ask for. So here we can choose to have it on all pages, just on the home page, or on none. So this is completely up to you. You can see if I scroll down and then scroll back up, we get this nice sort of color effect behind the header. But right at the top of the page, it's transparent, so we can see this nice hero image underneath. Next, we have some layout settings. So this is spacing for the logo. And what you'll love about these sections is they have settings for desktop and mobile. So you can customize depending on where the customer is viewing from. Next, we have the menu settings. So this is where you go in and select the menu that you've created in the back end of Shopify, all the links, etc. that you want to show up in the menu. You just attach that here, and then we have some more styling options like roundness on the top and bottom, and margins on the inside and outside. More styling options here with menu list settings. We have gap again for desktop and mobile. Following that, we have some link settings. You have the option to choose a custom font, select a font family. You have font size for desktop and mobile, so you can customize these fonts so they're matching with the rest of your store. Next, we have icon settings. So you can choose to have these as icons, account and cart. This is the size of the icons. Following that, we have some logo settings. So this is the overall logo. This will be your store logo that you add here. We have a second logo for the transparent header. If, for example, you want a different color when the header goes transparent, you can add an additional logo here. Next, we have the same thing, but for mobile. If you want to add a different logo for mobile for whatever reason, maybe a smaller one because your logo has a lot of text, you have the option to add that here. You can customize the width for both desktop and mobile, so how wide the logo is or how big it's going to appear on the page. And then you have positioning, whether you want this to be over on the left-hand side or centered in the middle. Next, we have shop name settings. This isn't really relevant if you upload a logo, but if you're just using the custom shop name from Shopify, then of course you can add a custom font and style this all here. More styling options under right navigation settings. These are these over here. Just change the gap so you can adjust the width on the screen. Much the same thing here for the link settings. So again, you can choose a custom font, change the font sizes and the line heights, and then also update the icon sizes for desktop and mobile. Next, we have the search settings. So this is for these right-hand side components primarily. Right now, we have the option to use search if you want to add search to the menu. I have it turned off. the text for search, and then we have these icon on desktop settings. So if I turn on search, I can either have it say the word search, or I can just change it to an icon like a little magnifying glass. The same thing for account and cart settings. So right now I have account as this text, which I type in here, but if I wanted to, I could change this to an icon, and so we have the account icon up here. Same thing for cart, add some text or change it to an icon on desktop. By default, these will be icons on mobile just because of the amount of limitation sort of in page space with those mobile devices being smaller. Following that, we have our standard Shopify theme color options. So you have an option for colors for everything in relation to the menu, all of your shop name colors if you're using that, right-hand navigation colors, so colors for this that you can customize independently, and then overall section colors like the background, a border if you want to add one. Finally, down the bottom, we have some overall section settings. So margin outside and padding inside. This is essentially the space here or between the edge of the menu and your text or your icons here. As you can see, I've added a little bit of border and I've rounded the corners, so this gives it this sort of pill-shaped floating effect, but you can also have this go all the way to the edge and all the way to the top of the page if I were to remove these margins. Finally, we have some section settings down the bottom. So full width, I recommend turning this on. This is a setting for larger monitors. If the customer's viewing on a big desktop monitor, you can restrict the header if you want to only take up a percentage of the page, but I find with headers, it's generally best to have them full width. I have full width turned on here. I don't have a border at the moment, so the border thickness is 0. And then I have a roundness of 100 pixels, so this is giving the rounding on the corners. As you see, if I turn this off, we no longer have the rounding on the corners. It's now square. And if I were to remove these margins, this would extend all the way to the edge of the page. And there you have it. That was just a quick tutorial on how you can add a really customizable header to your Shopify theme. As you can see in the app, we used header 1, but there's a ton of other different header sections like these ones. So you can go through here, find the header that you think is going to best suit your store, and add that one and customize it just following the same process. There's minimal headers like this. There's mega menus, really small transparent headers. We've got these headers with images on them, more mega menus. There's really a menu in here for every store, and they've taken inspiration from some of the best brands on Shopify. If you have any questions about this section, any of the other headers, or just any section in particular, feel free to drop a comment or reach out. Otherwise, keep an eye on both this channel and the app as we release multiple new sections and tutorials like this every single week.